Ever felt like you've been completely fooled? Like something you thought was one thing turned out to be totally different.
That feeling of deception, yeah, or just sheer surprise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, today we're doing a deep dive into a creature from Japanese folklore that's basically the master of that, the Mujina, famous for shape-shifting and trickery.
Right. We've got some fascinating sources, old chronicles, folk tales, even more modern takes.
And our mission, really, is to get past just the spooky monster story.
Yeah, to kind of figure out what the Mujina tells us about Japanese culture, its views on appearances, maybe even kindness.
Okay, let's get into it. So the earliest mention, our sources say it's way back, the Nihon Shoki.
Uh-huh. That's one of Japan's oldest historical texts, around 627 CE, which is incredibly early.
And this text describes a Mujina in Mutsu province. Not just shapeshifting into a person, but singing too.
Yeah. Imagine that. It's a really early glimpse into how supernatural beings were recorded in Japan.
So where did this idea even come from? Was it always a magical creature?
Well, no. Originally, Mujina was just the word for the Japanese badger, the animal, anaguma.
Oh, okay. Just a regular badger.
Pretty much. But over time, stories started linking these badgers with magical abilities, shape-shifting powers.
And that's how it became a yokai, one of those supernatural beings.
Exactly. So now there's a distinction. You've got the anaguma, the actual animal.
And the Mujina, the magical trickster one.
Right. Which, interestingly, leads to some confusion.
Or the tanuki, you mean. Raccoon dogs. I've heard they get mixed up.
They do. Both are known as shapeshifters. There's even a proverb about it. Onaji ana no Mujina.
Mujina from the same hole. What does that imply?
It used to mean people who seem different are actually quite similar deep down. Like they share the same burrow, metaphorically speaking.
Ah, interesting. So the folklore confusion kind of reflects a deeper observation about people.
Precisely. It taps into that idea that appearances can be deceiving, that maybe we share more than we think.
So what kind of tricks are we talking about? What do the stories say?
Well, there's one called the badger's trick. A Mujina transforms itself into a hut in the forest.
A whole hut, just to fool someone.
Seems like it. Just pops up where it shouldn't be. Then there's another from the Shimosa region.
Yeah.
The Mujina appears as a kabukiri kozos, like a young monk figure, offers travelers tea, lures them in, playing on trust,
Okay, so definitely mischievous, but then there's that Lafcadio Hearn story, Mujina. That one sounds different.
It is. That's from 1904. Hearn, writing largely for a Western audience, portrayed the Mujina basically as a naproba.
A faceless ghost. That's quite a leap from a tricky badger monk.
It is. It shows how these stories evolve, adapt, even merge. Hearn's version kind of solidified that faceless image in the West, mixing yokai types.
So the image isn't fixed at all.
Not really. And they aren't always scary or tricky. Some tales show Mujina helping kind families,
Helping.
transforming into giant sumo wrestlers to protect them. Talk about unexpected bodyguards?
Wow. So generally they aren't inherently evil then.
Generally, no. They seem to avoid humans, mostly. The tricks are often just illusions, usually harmless unless someone provokes them or is maybe greedy.
Which brings us to the lessons in these stories. What can we take away?
Well, definitely stay alert, be mindful, be aware, so you're not easily deceived.
And that proverb, don't judge by appearances.
Hmm.
The Mujina from the same whole idea.
Exactly. Plus, the theme of kindness is rewarded. Helping these creatures, even animals, can bring good things.
And the flip side, greed is punished. Seems like Mujina often test people's character that way.
For sure. And it's amazing how they've stuck around. You see them in Edo period art, maybe as little monks.
Right, like Toriyama Sekin's drawings.
Uh-huh. And then Hearn brings the faceless ghost idea west.
Yeah.
And today, they pop up in anime, video games, often as these sort of whimsical tricksters.
So quite the journey, from actual badger to complex symbol trickery, hidden truths, consequences. A real reminder to look closer.
Absolutely. Which maybe leads to a final thought for you listening. Where might you see Mujina moments in your own world?
Like hidden similarities between things you thought were different.
Or appearances that might be hiding something else entirely. What assumptions are maybe worth a second look?
And that's definitely something to think about. Thanks for exploring the very changeable world of the Mujina with us.
Always fascinating to dig into folklore.
It really is. So
Well-
much hidden depth there.